What's going on, guys? Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, we have an Adventures Pranks versus a branded Despia with me as the prankster going first. Now, before the gameplay even begins, I would like to tell you guys I am so disappointed in Master Duel right now. The state at which the game is in currently, especially with the branded Despia dominating the meta right now. People who have no idea how to play branded Despia, they are purely winning and climbing up all the way to Diamond 2, Diamond 1 on the power of branded Despia itself. They would be people who are just activating yellow on the first interaction they see in Master Duel against your opponent. They would be imperming your Prank Kid's normal summon monster and would never get punished. They would purely push past because branded Despia is that busted right now. Branded Fusion being at 3 is a one card full combo start for them. Absolutely ridiculous. They could push around a bunch of hand traps, and I am not liking how Master Duel currently is. So I will be going over all of this in another video that I'll make in detail. So if you guys are interested in that, you can look forward to that. So for today's gameplay, I am going first as I told you guys, and we are pretty bricked with our hand. We only have the Faithful Adventure engine in our hand, so that's exactly what we do. Activate right, get the token, put the Faithful Adventure, put the Griffin in on the field, and we just end our turn. Now, keep in mind, I did not attach the Draco back to my token. I did not know what I was going up against when I was playing the game. This was a Diamond 2, Diamond 1 gameplay, I believe, on my Smurf account. So I was thinking if the opponent wanted to do something in the next turn, we could still activate the Faithful Adventure, dump the Enchantress in the grave, get a token, and if we wanted to bounce something, we could still bounce it on the opponent's turn. Usually, if you are going first and you have no way to push past, no way to go into your combo, I would suggest you keep the Draco back in your hand instead of attaching it to the token itself, because first of all, you're not going to get any value by attaching the Draco back to the token on turn 1. You're not attacking, you're not bouncing any cards, and yes, it makes it so that the token is immune to destruction through battle once because you have the Faithful Adventure plus the Draco back attached to the token. That is not going to make much of a difference because in this meta, people can pop cards, can bounce cards, can banish cards, can send cards to the graveyard, they can do all kinds of stuff. So again, I would suggest you keep the Draco back in your hand if you are going first and if you can afford to keep the Draco back in your hand. So that is what I did, and we end our turn. Opponent's turn, he is with this card. I know he's playing Branded Despia. This card is a big card in a Branded Despia deck they do use to search for their polymerization plus their chain. So that's exactly what my opponent will do, add the poly plus the chain in their hand. Now I could have used the Griffin Omni on this, I chose not to do it. I was trying to save my Griffin Omni for a much better play that my opponent could make on me. So my opponent instantly activates Poly, so he sets down one card on the field and activates Poly. This could be seen as either the opponent had a branded opening in his hand, so he could still use the branded opening, put Aluber on the field, get the Aluber Surge, go for the branded fusion, make a play from that. Or this could be seen as this guy wanted to go into a Chimera, because having the one card on the field allows the opponent to get one pop if he goes into Chimera. So it was either or. So what I did was I used my Griffin and negated the first poly. I was hoping that he did not hard draw into a copy of polymerization into his hand. So we omni-negate the polymerization, but this guy had hard drawn a copy of poly into his hand. So he instantly goes into Chimera, using the card that he did face down set on the field plus 2 from his hand. So he's going to draw 2 cards, get 1 pop. Let's see the cards he used. The card on the field is the Tragedy set that the opponent did, and it could be an Edge Imp chain as well, but we know he searched for the Edge Imp chain with the Fright for Patchwork, so we're sure he probably set down the Tragedy on the field. So he used Tragedy, Chain, and Ad Libitum for the fusion into Chimera. So he used 2 cards from hand, 1 from field, so Chimera gets to pop 1 card in the field. He's going to chain block the whole thing with his Edge Imp chain. So at this point, if I activate the Ash Blossom, only the Edge Imp chain will get negated, which I don't want to do because we know for a fact that if he has a Aluber in his hand, oh, sorry, he already committed his normal summon. If he has a branded opening in his hand, the Aluber special can search him for the branded fusion. That's going to be full combo for him. Do not want that to happen, so we would rather save the Ash in our hand. So he gets the Edge of Chain, Resolution searches for the Fright for Patchwork, Tragedy searches him for Aluber, and the Chimera will be popping one card, which is the Faithful, and he draws 2 cards. Now, I don't know if he started with a branded opening in his hand or not, but he activates a branded opening from his hand. That's going to be discarding a branded opening from his hand. So branded opening activation discards a branded opening from his hand, puts the Aluber on the field. Aluber activates, searches him for a branded in red. I do not know why he did the combo the way he did. The usual thing is that they put Aluber, and if they don't have branded fusion in their hand, they search for branded fusion, activate branded fusion, go into their combo, right? That's the usual thing that branded Despia players do. But this guy, in a high level game, again, I am so disappointed with the Master Duel right now, in which like people like these are climbing to Diamond 1, Diamond 2, whereas other people that are hard grinding cannot get to high ranks because of this kind of, bullshit, I'll say it, bullshit happening in Master Duel right now. So branded in red search instead of the branded fusion, and then he's going to whack into my token, kill it with the Chimera, set down 2 cards, pass his turn. Again, this branded in red now that he set down, unless he has hard drawn into, I believe, a copy of Fallen of Albaz, cannot be putting Mirror Jade on the field. Like, I'm assuming that's the thing. Let me know in the comment section below if I was right or wrong, but he has no Albaz in the graveyard, and if he did not hard draw Albaz, that means no Mirror Jade coming on the field anymore. So he passes his turn, we go into our turn, I draw into a copy of Fancies. This means now I have a combo starter card in my hand. I could go into combo, but before we even commit to our combo, we are going to be wiping the back row. I do not want to be hitting with the branded in red to go into Chimera pop my field. I do not want that happening. The other card this guy had set down turned out to be a branded opening. So he already has 2 openings in grave, he has 3rd one on the field. He probably hard drew 2 to 3 branded openings with his card draws and stuff like that. Now usually, and when I say usually, I mean always, you do not want to chain link 1 or chain link 2 branded opening and then chain link 3 your branded in red. You want to chain link your branded in red first and then chain link branded in opening, so you can use the materials you put on the field off of the branded opening with the branded in red. Again, this guy has no idea how to do all that. He's still in high diamond. So misplay on the opponent's part, I'm assuming. He gets the branded in red, gets Tragedy back into his hand, and then fusions off into a Draco Stepelia. Now, Draco Stepelia, yes, it's a quick effect monster negate on the field. It basically does the work of a Dramaturge. That's it. That's a big Dramaturge on the field, nothing else for us as a Prankist player. So he gets the Aluber on the field. Aluber searches him for a branded fusion for his next turn. So you guys will see right there, he's going to chain block the Aluber search with the Tragedy in the banishment pile. So Tragedy resolves, searches him for the Dramaturge, and this Aluber will search him for a branded fusion for the next turn. Now, looking at my current hand, I had Fancies, Ash Blossom, Corridor, and our copy of Draco back. Can you guys see a way where I could OTK my opponent this turn itself? Because I saw a way to kill my opponent this turn itself with these 4 cards in my hand. And that is exactly what I'm about to do. We normal out a copy of our Fancies, go into our combo. Activate the graveyard, dump in our copy of Pandemonium because I want to get the search off for my pranks. Now I know that the Draco Stepelia will be negating the Doodle-Doo search, but in case, hear me out, okay? In case he does not use the Draco Stepelia to negate our Doodle-Doo search, we would be able to do so much more with the prank search into our hands. So I'm threatening my opponent, either negate this Doodle-Doo right now, or I get a pretty big board, I get recycle and everything, or you don't negate it, and or you do negate it and use up your negate this on our diddle do itself. My opponent goes into negating my diddle do, really good for us. That means we win the game this turn itself. We go into our second copy of diddle do, activate burn him for 500, and then we go into our copy of bow wow. Now over here, if I wanted to OTK my opponent, I needed to banish a monster card from my hand to get the corridor activation and put a copy of our Colossus on the field. So that's the only way I could OTK my opponent. Now my opponent's side of the field when I was doing this combo was highlighting constantly. So I was worried about a nib threat, I was worried about anything that my opponent could use at me. Veiler, nib, anything, any of the hand traps he could have used at any point in time. So I was worried about all of that. So I was debating if I want to banish the Ash Blossom or not, because I do need a monster for the corridor activation. And if we banish the Ash Blossom from the Roxy's activation, if we cannot kill our opponent this turn, that would be such a wasted banish, because we could use the Ash Blossom to negate the branded fusion from going through. After much debating, I decided to go for the OTK. My chat was like, Jay, just do it, go for the OTK. So I said, why not? Let's go for the OTK. We banish the Ash Blossom, we get the monster banish, which could trigger our corridor and go into Colossus. Now, if I knew that I would be drawing the Foolish Burial off of the banish, I would have 100% banished the Draco back, because Foolish Burial allows us to throw an Enchantress in the grave. Enchantress activate banishes itself, we get a right in our hand, and that way we have a target for the corridor to recycle. So we get the right, get a token, we activate corridor. I choose to recycle my Enchantress, go into our copy of our Colossus. Then we go into Nightmare. Nightmare bounce the Draco Stapelia. Now discarding on the Draco back, I could have attached a Draco back to the token to bounce it. It wouldn't have mattered. Either way, the Draco back would have gone to the graveyard anyways. So again, it doesn't matter how I did it. We go into access code gets activated, we start popping our opponent's card, we pop the Aluber, we pop the Aluber again, and we go for the lethal. Now keep in mind, my opponent's side was still activating during battle phase as well, so he still had something that he could have used. I checked my opponent's deck list, turns out he was running DD Crow. So the card he had in his hand that was activatable was DD Crow, which I was not worried about whatsoever. So right here we whack him for the lethal, and that's the game for today. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank and video uploads. And if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!